There is nothing stronger than the impulse to become fully yourself. It is expansion in 5 cycles that is the antidote for healing the trauma that gets in the way. Hi, I'm Gloria Gonzalez. I work with change leaders, those leading others to expand in new ways. You want to discover which of the 5 cycles is the missing key to unlock the place where you've been stuck. You are committed to expanding a vision of your business, your children's lives, or the health of your body. And in this final video of the series, we'll review the 5 cycles that tell us this is how things grow, this is how you expand, and now, in cycle 5, this is how you regenerate. If you want to lead in a new way for expanded action in life, this series will guide you expansively and emergently in 5 cycles of contact in the nervous system and nature. It's time to expand life. You came to be something more, something greater than the sum. There is nothing stronger than the impulse to become fully yourself and to pass that on to future generations. You came to regenerate yourself and the whole of your life, to restore your health, to reinvent yourself at work, and to renew your relationships with loved ones. Every business owner wants to see their venture take off to new heights and new places. Every body wants vibrant health restored, and every parent wants to see their child grow into a better world. But if you've endured stress, trauma, or family grief and family disconnection, then regeneration can become disrupted. We depend on a tribe, a village, and when family order is lost, the relationship to a larger whole that's needed to grow can also be lost. Early life stress and trauma create attachment disruptions in the wholeness of the family system from one generation to the next and can obstruct the path to renewal and regeneration. That nervous system body memory is carried forward in life into all relationships, showing up as chronic body symptoms, relational ruptures, or the loss of meaningful purpose in life. Why that matters to you now is that nervous system disruptions can heal at any age to restore the process of positive growth so that you have the power to regenerate and reinvent the change you want and need now for yourself and for those who matter most in your life. Cycle 5, regenerative contact, reflects the fullness that wants to emerge, a robustness arising from the restoration of the true order of wholeness in the process of 5 cycles. There's a natural sequence that emerges from contact with the whole, from the seed and root to the trunk, branches, flowers, and now, in cycle 5, fruit. That's natural order. In the prior 4 cycles, we've been tracking this emergence in the nervous system and what it means to heal through fight, flight, freeze, so that not only do you see the rich fruits of your efforts, but also refine and regulate what you want to grow and rebirth a next and new phase in life, a new business venture, new health, and a new world for your child. The power in regeneration is that it is the fundamental impulse of life. This essential impulse is the process of every cell in your nervous system and body, every relationship you have, every phase of your life now, and those coming next. Regeneration affirms you aren't creating nature. Nature is creating you. If cycle 4 collaboration is an exchange and giving in the now, then regeneration is giving also to next generations of the future. It's a quiet promise, whether regenerating yourself, your work successors, or your family. It's a legacy of change and care for a new world and a better world. It's the nature of nature to give new life to the next generation. Order and interconnectivity unfold from the greater whole, nature. Her thread weaves the order. Think of nature like a net, where a singular thread interconnecting at different nodes over and over weaves together to unfold structure, form, function, expression, art, circling, cycling, and changing shape over time. Now, think of the ocean like the thread and the waves as the nodes. Remember, it's the thread that creates the nodes, not the other way around. It's the weaving of the thread that creates the net. It's the ocean that creates the wave. Survival often wants to see only the wave and not the entire ocean. It sees waves and nodes everywhere, moments, people, events, potential threats, symptoms, problems seemingly without answers. In only seeing waves, you can miss the connected living process of the ocean. You and all of life unfold from the whole, from nature's order, like a single uninterrupted thread of movement. Cycles of continual regeneration in your life are woven together, season after season, year after year. Nature weaves her thread through us, releasing us from the illusion of separation or hyper-independence, and she teaches us the interdependence of one generation to the next. When it's time to unfold, find the signal within the noise. Begin in the body. You want a clear signal that comes from a less disrupted, more open nervous system. You need to find the signal within the noise of static. You see, static is the disruption of the past. The unhealed stress and trauma of the past creates a sense of dysrhythmic static in your nervous system. Think of clearing the static like focusing a photo with your phone in portrait mode, where you work to get that nice, clear, interesting, sharp image of only the subject you desire. You'll be able to hear what's most important to you when you clear the static. When the body's nervous system is connected in rhythmic regulation, it's easier to receive a clear signal. The simple way most successful people get centered on listening is to begin their day with a rhythmic morning routine, making space, even if it's 10 minutes, to get quiet, go inward, to listen within and to the body. More often, they journal, meditate, or pray, opening a space to get absorbed into settling, and then go on to full body movement, breath, the senses, going out in nature for a walk, running, swimming, breathing, to feed the whole body as a listening tool. People who do this say they feel more available, engaged, and more accessible and present to everyone and everything the day has to offer. Leaders, you want to know your nervous system in order to know what you need to clear the static of the past. To tune into a clear, fundamental signal in the nervous system, listen to the body's story, not the one in your head. Leaders, when there's unhealed trauma, the story in your head quite often announces the desire to change, expand, but the body subconsciously broadcasts an opposing agenda. Don't change, compress. If you've experienced that conflict, it's time to get out of the brain story, the one in your head, the one that may not be giving you the full picture of your path to fulfill change, and dive into listening to the one in your body. The body remembers what the mind forgets. In 1985, I came from DC to California and established 8 Elements West, a somatic education and natural wellness center in La Jolla, California. Knowing 40 years ago that the trend of health would eventually move towards whole body, whole person wellness, we offered services like yoga, postural bar work, body work, acupuncture, herbs, and more. We introduced these at a time when they were considered unconventional, maybe even strange. But as you may see in the logo, we have always been dedicated to rhythm in the nervous system as the life-giving force in this universe. Now, I dedicate my time to 5-cycle expansion, and I am the medicine where, like 8 elements, the mission joins Eastern traditions and Western paradigms to view biology and spirit as one inseparable interconnective intelligence, revealing an emergent healing force that leads to stress reduction, trauma repair, and true inner fulfillment equally in health, work, and love. My training in biology began at the University of Maryland, where I took my first fight-flight class based on Herbert Benson's relaxation response back in 1981. With a degree in kinesiology, my studies included chemistry, organic chemistry, anatomy, and physiology for a pre-med track. But first, I took a 1-year sabbatical by the ocean in Southern California, where massage school, rolfing, postural bar work, and more all changed my spatial and body awareness. I had none. I had lived in my head getting straight A's, and it worked. I transformed from being polarized in my brain as the way to survive and accomplish to sensing and feeling through the entire net of the body as a better way to fully be alive. My path of healing had a natural booster from mom and dad. My mom grew up in Germany, and here I am in Germany with her parents. My Oma and Opa, Grandma and Grandpa, and my 2 older sisters. Mom grew up as a child with a good life. But then, in her early teens, came World War II, where she, her family, and neighborhood lost everything to bombing. Naturally, the pain of the after effects of war reverberated through our family. But perhaps it is the experience of extreme existential terror and fragile human vulnerability that brought out in us an immense compassion, a deeper listening for the ravages of trauma. Dad is from the Andes Mountains in Quito, Ecuador. That's us in the Amazon. We would return regularly as family to his home in the Pichincha Valley to experience a life closer to nature and travel through areas like Santo Domingo, the home of the Sachila, true people, or Colorado Indians. Here with my aunt, uncle, and cousins, my mom and her 3 girls, with me as the little one in front. It's no wonder that upon moving to California, I immediately met Bill Galt, whose own Native American heritage led him to founding the Good Earth Restaurants and Peace Leaders International. Bill encouraged me to get committed to deeper listening to my inner knowing by writing my business mission statement for 8 Elements at 24 years old. During a visit with him, he pointed at his office wall at his Peace Leaders mission statement and directed me to listen for mine. Completely naive to what he meant by listening for it, I asked him how to do that. He pointed out of his window to the ocean and rocks and said, "You see that rock there? Go sit on it quietly at the water's edge and wait until it comes to you." I had little faith that what he was saying would actually work, but it did, and it has ever since. I also had the great honor to work with a shaman, also of Native American descent, shortly thereafter, who relayed the same message: to listen, to feel for undercurrents in myself and my relationships, and to trust that which cannot be seen, but can only truly be felt and experienced with the subtlety of the inner senses. She impressed upon me that I needed to heal myself by leaning into my listening more to clear physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual congestion. Integrating your listening as part of your life will put you in greater relationship with yourself and others. But for the last 20 years, I've focused on biology studies like visceral manipulation, craniosacral therapy, trauma resolution therapies, and more. I support change leaders, those who lead a vision and action for others to live in the world in more expansive ways. These leaders are business executives, physicians, published authors, life educators, mothers, fathers, healers, therapists, performance-minded people with a calling, interested in how the 5 cycles guide you towards deep fulfillment and unification of what's most meaningful in life: family, health, and profession. Clients who come to see me want to work with a stress response that's meant for short term, that's been held in the body memory for far too long. The past is causing a disconnect in relationships, in family, health, or work. They know it's not just what happened to you in the past, it's about what's happening within you now. In tracking the story of the nervous system, you learn to move again with your biology and nature. You learn to be the entirety of the ocean and ride the waves of life. You become the whole as your nervous system learns how to become the board, the ocean, the sky, and the wind. All of these become you so that you can effortlessly do what you do super well. Dr. Mark Kalina, I want to make sure everybody knows that you are both a primary care physician and an end-of-life physician, and that you've been in practice since 1992 for over 30 years. You worked back in the day with the Dean Ornish program when this was a revolutionary way to both prevent and reverse heart disease. You also have worked with AIDS patients back in the day. You've worked with the dying in terms of hospice and giving both physical and spiritual support. You've worked with cancer support groups. And you worked at Scripps Hospital, where you also ran emotional and mental support groups for people to give them extra care in tandem with their physical needs. You have regenerated your work over and over again to help a broad spectrum of people get more broad care and more whole care.
I like everything, and I like helping people, and I do like disease reversal. I do believe people can reverse. I believe they can regenerate. I believe they can transform right up until the moment that they pass. I just listen and ask them what they want, and I'll help them get there. But that's the tricky thing, I think, for all of us. What is it we want?
That's a big question. I do want to say that most of the people that you've worked with have been on some kind of edge, whether it's cancer or AIDS or heart disease. That's all an edge. You're really helping them come back to life and regenerate.
Right. And the truth is, I think they're gifts, and they help us on our path so we can be more of who we were meant to be and get out of our own way.
So often the symptom speaks for us words that we ourselves don't even know that we have to say. If you listen to the symptom and you really listen closely and broadly at the same time, like you do, listening to the symptom itself, but also listening to the person, then you can really find life opening back up again.
Yeah. Listening within the context of not only their body, but also their whole life and what they came for and their purpose and what's possible in the future. The truth is, I like to let them lead and tell me what they want.
Expansion from listening to your body in its fullness can move life from the threat of symptoms to the growth of wholeness. If a client's nervous system is in a state of chronic arousal, a lot of times they can feel powerless. Often their symptom has made them feel isolated, and then you develop teamwork with them.
When people are in sympathetic overdrive, flight or fight or fear, when they are scared, when they are isolated, when they are traumatized, there's nothing progressive, there's no growth that can occur. They're truly paralyzed.
And then you step in and you listen to them at a whole nother level, Dr. Mark. You listen to them as a person, as a human being with a life that they're wanting to return to, right?
Yes, I care about them. I try to see the world through their eyes and what they want to get to, and not from this supercharged, super overdrive place, but what they would want, what they emotionally long for, what they want when they are peaceful, when they're calm, when they've slept well, when they feel connected to their tribe. I talk to them or listen to them, but what the goal is to change their state, because then people know how to do this. People know how to be okay, but they need to be peaceful, okay, calm, and safe. That's when change happens. That's when people can open up. That's when real progress happens. It is the crack that opens new perceptions, new doors, new pathways in your body.
There are potential openings to regenerate someone's life, for them to take a look again, for you to be able to question, how are things going in their life? How do you find that patients find that crack in the door or the new perception?
By me being okay, which it's taken a long time. So my whole job is to be open and see possibility.
I know you run groups every Wednesday for your patients for both social connection and emotional vulnerability, where 20 people show up. That is part of your vision of the future of healthcare, that we need more human connection and we need more interconnection in how we live. That speaks to the work that you're doing, that people want to see you and really get the help with wholeness that you're providing for them.
I ask each person in the room, what do they want from primary care? And it's different for all people. I will be their advocate. I will walk down the road with them. It is bumpy and it is scary, and there's ups and downs and all overs, but that's what I do, is I walk with people. I am with them. People love to feel cared about, and caring is the magic along with love.
One-on-one is too limited. This is 1-on-20, and it's exponential. And the aim is to reach more people.
One-on-one as opposed to 1-on-20 or 2-on-20 opens up spaces, because there's a wisdom in the room. People are peers to each other. People are mirrors of each other. People might be the opposite or they might be the same, and we can work that through. There's an energy that it's a tribe. It's a whole community, and there's just so much more space and possibility. It's really infinite. They become friends. Two people might be wrestling with the same diagnosis. There's this interplay of humanness that happens when there's a safe space and people can be themselves. When you find that one person that you connect with, or that couple people, or let's just say we're all in tune in the group, and all of a sudden everybody's resonating and vibrating together, that is when the magic happens. Things just change and things transform. People feel known, heard, and truly connected, and there is this shift that happens. And that's why I do groups. We're all better together. If you bring people together, there's a wisdom and a brilliance. How that happens, I don't know. There's a magic, and there's something that's different when all things melt away and we just become human.
It seems like also that harkens back to the Dean Ornish days where social connection really became a really strong healing force, and that you're carrying that through now.
He wrote the book, and it's my favorite book still, Love and Survival. And the truth is, it is all about love. Love is the molecule, the fabric of how we grow and expand.
We have an incredibly usable map, 5 very clear steps to unify what's most meaningful in life. Each cycle is a regeneration. And if you want to unify life, you may appreciate and need this more complex, integrated functioning. The 5 cycles are the map for interconnective, responsive change. A quantum shift out of hidden patterns and compensations of early life adaptive survival into regenerating responsive relationship and growth. You need more than understanding and cognitive insights. Innately sequenced, 5-cycle expansion unfolds your own wholeness and intelligence to cultivate root transformation that is generatively far greater than the sum of its parts. This isn't a new method. It's simply a return back to the laws of the biology of your nervous system and nature. Let's go through the 5 steps now. Cycle 1, Step 1, get in a larger field, the ocean, in touch with the whole. Come out of compression and into expansion by sensing goodness and natural rhythms. Allow your roots to go where they need to grow. Let the seed of your purpose become receptive to the environment through its roots. Take lots of time here, as this is such a receptive phase. If you miss the fullness of this essential phase, you'll most likely come back and do it again. Cycle 2, Step 2. Get strong by sensing your inner terrain and master it. Begin to refine the responses of your nervous system, the granular shaping of inner sensation. Palpable shifts you register in contour and texture creates clear direction and alignment on your path. Cycle 3, Step 3. In cycles 1 and 2, you've done the steady setup to increase your willingness for emotional risk and emotional safety by grounding your essential roots and getting clear direction by going granular. Now you step into emotional rhythm that invites a greater range of responses, becoming emotionally embodied, fluid, capable, and smooth, adept at stretching the edges of your emotional capacity to expand past limits in your relationship. Cycle 4, Step 4. Wake up the facets of the individual and group to expand as part of an interconnective whole, like the seasons that are facets that emerge every year, expressing fundamental rhythms, cycles, and sequences that collaboratively unfold the greater whole. Cycle 5, Regenerative Contact. Regenerative contact is all 5 cycles in the nervous system working in complete integration, forming the greater whole, like the final phase of fruit that fulfills, satisfied, and signifies accomplishment and prosperity. And as only a living system can realize as well, it regenerates, rebirths a whole next series of rhythms, cycles, and sequences as the fruit falls from the tree to begin the process of life all over again. The 5 cycles function together, each moving and filling like a watermill, where the life force filling one wheel paddle naturally spills to fill the next to sustain consistent, even, effortless motion of the living system as a whole. In healing the adaptations in 5-cycle integration, each of the 5 phases must once again come to their fullness in order for the cycle of life to create ease of movement of the life force within. Pain is a reflection that a phase is stuck in a cycle. The art of aliveness is not just to treat the visible symptom, the wave, but rather to enlist all the elements within a system, within the ocean, to unify the self-organizing capacity to expand aliveness in continual flow, regenerating every day, every minute, and every second. Through all cycles of the biology of relationship, your nervous system develops layers of capacity to complete the past and to move forward with more fullness, having differentiated the strength of new roots, a trunk, branches, flower, and now fruit that you have deliberately rebirthed and regenerated through you from the greater whole. Expansive listening is to think, feel, and sense expansively and emergently, and to trust how you came to express yourself uniquely in this lifetime, to live it boldly and generously, and to contribute passionately and meaningfully to those whose life you touch. It is the goal of moving from trauma to wholeness that enables the process of listening and contact, and it is the practice of emergence through 5 cycles that grounds your creative impulse in the whole of the ocean to be in a more generous exchange with the fullness of life.